you doing, everybody? This is Jim Bunk with Black Shoes Campers of Southern California, out of the City of Industry. And today I'm going to do a walkthrough of our HQ19T, our toy hauler. Now this is also going to double up for the HQ22T, as a lot of the living spaces and all of the amenities are the same. We just get into a little bit of a difference when we get into our garage area, and I'll point those out. So let's get into it, let's get around it. So here we are at the front of the unit, and again, like always, we have our compartment doors for our propane storage, and we also have for our gas can storage. And as always, we obviously have our nice durable diamond plate. And then here in the front, with all of our units featured, our rock guard. So again, it's angled downwards, it's angled offwards, so that way when rocks are getting kicked up or mud or whatever, it's more deflected off, so it's not affecting the rest of the unit. And then obviously at the top part, our gray parts, that's gonna be our aluminum composites. So we have a sheet of aluminum, a composite material, and then a secondary sheet of aluminum to help give us our rigidity and also to give us our strength and our lightweight that we need to be keeping our units on the lightweight side with our weight distribution. So here at the front of the unit, like all of our HQ models, we have our angled deflectors. And so obviously our deflectors are made of this nice, tough, durable diamond plate. And as you come around the corner, you see it's got a nice backward slope to it. So that way as rocks come up, they're not all just coming here, they can kind of angle off and be thrown away from your vehicle. So that way it helps protect. Also, it's got a downward, inwards angle as well. So again, we're deflecting down, and we're deflecting away from our unit. Now in the top half, we also have our aluminum composites. We have aluminum diamond plate, aluminum composites. We got a sheet of aluminum, a composite material, and then another sheet of aluminum. That way that helps with our weight distribution. So we have a nice, tough, durable, sturdy unit without not having a lot of extra weight to it. So also here on the front, some of the amenities we have is one of our floodlights. We got some really nice LED floodlights, really bright floodlights up there. And the front of the compartments, like always, we have our propane compartment, 2 propane tanks. And then we have another storage container that's got room for 2 5-gallon jerry cans for gas or for water, whichever you'd like to do. As we come down here to the frame, we have our jockey wheel. Our jockey wheel is going to allow us to kind of move it around while we're hooking up. And then we also, as you come back up and you look around on the front, we have our mechanical handbrakes. We always have that nice mechanical handbrake. So like right now things are set, we're not rolling anywhere. We don't even have to have the wheel chalked if we don't want to. But when you are camping, you should always chalk your wheel. Now also, some of the other amenities we have here on the front, we also have your 7-pin for connecting for while you're towing, obviously for your lights and for your signals and everything. We also here on the front of all of our units, we utilize an Anderson plug. This is a 50-amp Anderson plug. So if you get one of our portable solar panels, that would plug into here. We also have the breakaway switch. So we have this cable right here. So if you run into an issue, something happens, and the unit breaks away, this will set the brakes. And then as always, we have our polyblock hitch, our Black Series brand polyblock hitch. So that way we have our dips and our valleys, and we also have our twisting and our torquing and everything else to make it an off-road vehicle. Then another thing that we also make sure we always have is our nice heavy duty chains. So that way we're holding on to our unit in case of any emergencies that may transpire. So now I'm on the driver's side of the vehicle, at the back of it. And so I'm gonna start here and work my way forward. So as always, we have our rock guards, our nice durable rock guards to help protect the edge of your unit. So that way if you're off-roading and this lower half drops down a little bit below grade, this bar is gonna take that hit instead of tearing up the edge of your unit. And as we move forward, you can see here we have our outdoor shower. There's an outdoor shower. You can belly up to it, rinse off. You have hot and cold, and you can even kind of rest the shower head there. As we're moving forward, we have an outdoor plug. We have a 12-volt plug right here. So if you need to, you can plug into it. Maybe you can get a pump with a hose to it. So that way if you're at a stream or a water source, throw the hose into the water, you have a 12-volt pump because right here we have our general water tank and our drinking water tank. As always, our HQ models have 2 separate tanks. We have a 50-gallon general water tank that's going to run things like your sinks, your shower, and your toilet. And then we have a 16-gallon drinking water tank. And so that's going to be specifically for drinking water only. It's going to draft it through a triple filtration system, which I'll show you in a little bit, come out through the spigot, so you'll always have your drinking water. So even though you may run out of water for showers using your toilet, at least you'll be able to hydrate yourself, which is really important when you're out camping. So continuing here with the backside, we also have a third water area, and that says black water tank. So what that is when you're dumping your sewer tank, your black water tank and your gray tank, you use this, you put your hose in here, you can refill the tank so you can completely flush it out and get your black tank clean before you put in your chemicals. As I move forward, we have a little door right here, which is where you're gonna find your 30-amp plug. Next to that is our hot water heater, or at least our vent for our hot water heater. It is a 6-gallon hot water heater. And then we come through here, we have our pass-through storage. So this is just gonna be a storage compartment. So you can see this is actually gonna be the backside of your kitchen right here, as well as your breakers. So we do have some breakers that we use in here, and that's gonna be for like your AC unit, your service disconnect, your GFCI plugs, and then your water heater. So you have a few breakers that are inside for more heavy duty applications for your 110 volt system. So now we're going to continue around to the other side and continue on the passenger side, or the entry side of the trailer. So here on the entry side of the vehicle, we're going to have the other side of our passenger storage, but again, this is going to be our pull-out kitchen. So we have our pull-out kitchen here, like all of our models, our HQ models, they all have the slide-out kitchen. And then our other side right here is going to be your storage. So you can have your storage, your awning pole right there. You have your crank for your jockey wheel and your other amenities that are needed for your sewers and stuff like that. You have your solar powered light for the outside for your entry to light up your passage as you're walking towards the unit. As you come forward, we also have our steps, so you can see. And then if you also look up, you can also see how our unit has floodlights. Now I didn't mention it on the other side, but there are floodlights all the way around, very powerful LED floodlights all the way around, on the front, on the back, on both sides. And we also have our awning that's up on the top of our unit as well. As we keep coming along here, we have our table. This is just a little small prep table or just a setting table. There's a couple little ringlets here where you can set, cans of soda or beer or whatever you're drinking. You can set stuff here, prep stuff here, whatever you want to use this for, but it's just a nice little convenient table to use. We have a GFCI plug, ground fault current interrupter. That's 110 volts, so you're going to be plugged in to use that. And then next to this, we also have another 12 volt plug. So if you have 12 volt accessories, you can plug it out there. And then for your outdoor entertainment, we have a speaker. We actually have 2 marine grade speakers located here on the outside of your unit. So as you come along a little bit farther with our windows, we also have a couple vents. The batteries are located in the rear. So this is going to be the vents for your batteries and for your inverter that's located in the back of the unit. So I think we pretty much got everything covered. We got our tires, we got everything else listed on here. Now we're gonna take a look inside. So here at the back of our HQ19T, and again, the HQ22T is exactly the same when it comes to the rear configuration. We just have 3 extra feet for our garage. The HQ19T has a 10-foot long garage, and the HQ22T has a 13-foot garage. Now, right now, we have it set up in our patio configuration. Now, in patio configuration, this has a weight capacity of 1,600 pounds. Now, to get it out of its patio configuration, you very easily just lift it up a little bit, pull off one of the S-hooks. Now, usually I will attach the S-hook inside to one of the areas, so I'm just gonna set it here for now. I'm gonna come over here to the other side. And so that way, again, when you have it and you need to use it in a ramp configuration for loading, that's what it's gonna do. So I'm gonna take these off and I'm just gonna push this down, So now we're in a ramped or loading configuration. Now the weight capacity now in this configuration is 3,200 pounds. So again, 1,600 pounds in patio configuration, 3,200 pounds in loading configuration. So up here in the garage of the HQ19T, like I said, there's some hooks up here. I usually just get the cables out of the way so we're not tripping over them. You don't risk close them in the door or whatever it may be. I just hook them up here. And as we come into our garage unit, like I said, with the 19T, it is a 10-foot long garage unit. And so in just a little bit, what we'll do is we're gonna put up some comparison notes for the measurements, because we have like 6 foot 9 inches here in the 19T, but the 22T's got closer to 7 foot, so some little bit height differences. But when we're inside and you look, you have all of the nice, the high gloss ceiling to it. We have our puck lighting to help light up the area. You even have in the lighting that is around the vent. There's a nice large vent in here with a light that turns on and off. And you also have your privacy shade and your bug screen that comes on this as well. Now we also have some cabinetry. We have a cabinet here, so we open it up for some storage and whatnot. Now in this cabinet, in this unit here, our area that we utilize is our heater, is this cabinet here. So if you are running the heater, it is a propane powered heater. It is our 16,000 BTU heater. So if you are utilizing the heater in the evening hours, in the cold morning hours, you will have to have your door open for the people in the front to be able to get some heat as well. Otherwise you get really hot and toasty back here all on your own. So that's one of the nice amenities that we have with our vent. Now, one of the nice things is our vent does rotate. So you can see that it rotates. And so you can angle. So you can angle it towards the back, or you can angle it towards the front if the people in the back say, hey, it's too hot, I don't want any more heat back here. Now, here in the bottom corner here, there's this very long box, this diamond plate box. And in that box is gonna be your batteries. So the batteries for the entire coach are located in here, as well as that 2,000 watt inverter. So as always, our units have, the HQ models, they have the two 150 watt solar panels up on the roof, and we have our 4 batteries and our inverters down here located inside. As we kind of come along to the front, and on both sides of the front, we have a table. There's a little lift up table that's here, a little work table. Maybe the kids got some homework, the teacher gave them some homework for the weekend, so the kid needs a little area to do some work. You have a little table here, but it also comes with another fold down table to set in the center, because as you notice to either side of me, I have some benches. I have 2 benches and I have 2 more bunks. So we're gonna be able to sleep 4 people in the back of this unit. Now to set up the lower bench, either as a bench or as a bunk, you just raise this up, and then you have hydraulic arms. You just give it a push down, and now you have this set as a bench or as a lower bed. So, and again, you would just do the same thing over here on the other side of the unit. Now to set up the upper bunk, you need to be a little bit more on the careful side with this one. There is a pin back here. You release this pin just releases. This comes out. There's a cable that holds it. Make sure the cable is hooked up. You don't want to be pulling this down and have it flop down. So make sure you do see that cable's hooked up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this handle. Now as I grab this handle, oops, I got to get the other hook on the other side. I usually hate to do this stuff in advance. There we go. So I got the other one. So now I'm going to pull this down. So as I pull this down, I have this piece right here. Now on this piece right here, there is a clip. I'm going to pull this down so you can see. There's a clip that wraps around the back side of it. So you pull this off, because there's magnets to help hold it in place. Lift this up. So as you come down with the whole unit, this ladder will rotate forward. You bring it down, and then there's a hook right here. So you bring this up, latch that in place, and bring this down in place. So now you have your top bunk with a ladder, and then you have your lower bunk. So this would be your sleeping configuration. So then now you have access to your window and your shades and stuff right here. So now here you have the ability to sleep 2 people. And like I said, you can sleep 4 people back here. So you would do the exact same setup over here on this side. Now, usually in my videos, once I set something up, I usually set it and forget it, and I walk away and move on to something else. But because of how this puts away, I want to show you how this puts away before we move on. So what you do is you come over here, once you're all done sleeping in it, you release the clip, and then as you push up, you're going to swing this back, and you can see how it kind of flops a little bit. This swings up, and again, we're coming back to this clip right here. This clip is going to set right on that frame. This pushes up. That goes back against the magnets, okay? And then make sure you always reset your lock pins, because you don't want to be going down the road and having these bad boys flopping around and hitting things. So make sure you set your locking pins for the beds. Now the bench, you can either leave it down, or what you're gonna do is you lean over, you lift it up, push this back in place, all packed up, ready to go. So one last thing for the back area is our thermostat control. So we have a couple switches. This is the power switch for the heater unit, but this is the on-off switch that is on the Dometic controller, and then this is going to be your controller for how much heat, how hot, or how cold you want it to be back here. Now, for when you have your equipment here in the back of the HQ19T or the HQ22T, we also have tie downs. Now in the 19T, we have 9 5,000-pound rated capacity tie downs. So we have 2 that are up here on top, like how I pointed where I hooked in my cables earlier. We have 4, there's 2 here, and then there's 2 more back here along the walls. And then there's also 3 that run right down the center of the unit. Now again, this is the HQ19T. I believe the HQ22T has a couple extra. So now that we've covered the garage, let's go take a look inside the living area. Hey everybody, so welcome to the living area of the HQ19T. Now, like I said before, the HQ19T and the HQ22T are identical in their living quarters area. So let's take a look at a few of the things that are in here. So right here to my right, which is immediately just inside the door, we have our microwave. As we come down, we have our 3-burner stove, so that way you can cook inside if you have inclement weather. But again, we want you to utilize the outside kitchen. Get outside, make sure everyone's included in those conversations. The drinks, the beverages, the jokes, everything that's going on keeps everybody involved. And here in the corner, if you can see over here, we also have our water spigot. Now this is where, when you're gonna use that drinking water, that 16-gallon drinking water, this is the spigot that's gonna use. Now I'm gonna lean in here for a second, and I'm gonna open up the cabinet here and show you. Here is the triple filtration system. So the water pump, the secondary water pump, is gonna draw up the water from that 16-gallon tank. It's gonna go through that triple filtration system, and it's gonna come out through your spigot here. So like I said, even if you run out of your 50-gallon general water tank, you still have your separate drinking water tank. So also here with this front compartment area, we have just a small little cabinet space, a little storage space underneath here. And then just below that, we have our refrigerator, a little small 2.6 cubic foot refrigerator. You can put some of your necessities in there, maybe some meat or some milk or eggs, whatever you need to. But yeah, you can definitely have a few things under there, and you also have a small fire extinguisher underneath there as well. Now just above me right here, and you can see I have some more head clearance because this is a little bit taller in the living space area, but we have our air conditioner with the heat pump on it. So, but again, you have to be plugged into 110. You have to use your 30-amp plug, 110, to run your air conditioner and to run the heat pump. And again, the heat pump is designed to kind of take away that morning chill. If you don't want to run the propane, you're just taking away the morning chill. It's only going to work for short periods of time. It's not meant for long periods of use. And then right here next to me, we got our wet bath. We'll get into that. So here, our wet bath. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull this door open here and kind of slide it open. So as you can see in there, we have a nice little sink. And so that sink, the faucet on the sink actually doubles as your shower head. So you would actually pull that up. There's a hose connected to it. If you actually look down, you can kind of see where the hose is poking at the bottom there. So that's going to be your shower head. And then here around the corner, that's going to be your toilet. Now again, all of this is going to be, for water-wise, is going to be being drawn from your 50-gallon general water tank. So once you're done with your 50 gallons, you're going to have to belly up to a stream or a water source to fill up your tank. Now, as you also look up, we also have a small little vent fan with lighting. We have lighting all the way around it to help kind of light up the area where you're in. So here, just over the top of the door, we have our control panel. So again, we have our digital readouts for our drinking water, our general water, our gray and our black water. And of course, we have our electric meter that shows how much current and voltage is being used and how much is being brought in. And then our water heater switch. And so our water heater has a dual ability to be heated. So we have an electric switch. So if you're plugged into 110, you can heat up your water electrically. The solar panels in the battery will not work for heating up the water. It's going to draw too much amperage and kill your batteries. And then the other method is your propane. So you do have your propane power to heat up your water. And then obviously all of our breaker switches. Again, we're not using fuses, we're using breaker switches. And then here at the top, we have our drinking water switch and our general water switch. That way we have the water flowing. Now come over here to the left a little bit, we have our radio, our Kenwood radio, which will provide you with music inside the area. We do have speakers here within the unit, and then also our inverter switch. And again, remember, just as a reiteration, we always want to use the inverter on switch. Never, ever, ever use the secondary one where it's the auto saver. Inverter on is what you want to be using when you're going to be utilizing your microwave or if you're going to be watching your TV. So here right by the door, if you look, there's 3 separate switches. Now the large square one, that's going to be your main cutoff switch. So if I hit that, turns off everything, turns everything back on. The double switch, these 2 switches right here, that's going to be your inside lights, okay? And then these switches are rocker switches. And so these control your inside, or excuse me, your outside floodlights. So front and rear, side to side, okay? So that's gonna be your 3 switches, and then a 110 volt plug right here. So up here on the ceiling area, you see this large white box area kind of type thing. It says King on it. This is actually our high definition antenna. So you see this large black disc up on the roof. Now it has an on-off switch here. When you hit it to on, all these lights should come on. Now it's not on because there's actually a secondary switch to turn on your antenna. So if we come over this way, over by the TV, so this is our TV and DVD player, and there's going to be a plug and you see a little switch. So when you turn this on, you can see the little green light. And so now we come back over here, now you can see all the lights. And the lights are an indicator as to how much of a signal you're receiving. Now, if you're not receiving a very strong signal, there's actually, and I'm going to flip this around so you can see, there's a pinch point right here. Now I can twist it, but you hear it ratcheting, making noises. So you actually push this, that releases the lock, and allows you to turn this to get a better signal if you're in a weak signal area, okay? Now it's not changing the lights because we're in a really strong signal area, obviously, clearly. So that's gonna be, like I said, our high definition antenna for our TV. So we'll go back over here to the TV. And like I said, this is also a TV and a DVD player. So again, obviously one of the main features of the trailer up here in the living quarters area is the bed, the big queen size bed. So as you look down here, we got a nice, about a 4-inch thick mattress, nice thick full mattress, very comfortable, trust me. And so as you come in, you're gonna be laying this way, crossways on this unit. And it's got a nice headboard, so you can even see the headboard, which actually works out more to be more of a sideboard if you're laying crosswise. But it's got a nice diamond shaped stitching to it, nice and padded. We have that marine grade leather that's in there. And then also, you also have a couple of reading lights. You got one here and you have a reading light over there in the corner. So you can sit here, you can just chill and relax, maybe read a book, watch a little TV, maybe put in a DVD, watch a movie, or whatever you want to do. And then even up here, you have some cabinetry, so that way you can store some stuff, whether it be maybe some clothing or some other items or whatever you want to put up in here. We have 3 doors up in here. Got a couple little shelves here on top of your windows and stuff. Again, we have our nice high gloss veneer that makes up, our units and everything. Again, this is a wood veneer. It's not a sticker. It's not a wallpaper. It is wood veneer. It's actual wood. And again, here's the speaker I mentioned as well. So there you have the living space for the HQ19T. And again, the HQ22T is exactly the same. Now, I mentioned the 3-burner stove right here in the front area, right here by the microwave. If you look underneath, there's also a vent. So that way, if you do utilize your indoor cooking area, you have a light and you have a fan. So that way, if you have smoke or just cooking odors, you can draw that up and eject that out. So there you have it, everybody, the HQ19T and the HQ22T. Now again, I know I didn't walk through the 22T, but all of the similarities of the unit is exactly the same, except for in the garage area. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna attach some of the differences or the measurements for the HQ19T and the HQ22T, so that way you can see the comparisons. You can also go onto our website, www.blackseriescamper.com, and go under the unit, the specifics for the unit, and see the specs. You'll see up in the top right a little tab that says specs. Click on that and it'll also show you the numbers that you're looking for.
How you doing, everybody? This is Jim Buck with Black Series Campers of Southern California, out of the city of Industry. And we hope that you enjoyed the last video of a series that we just got finished watching. And what we'd like to do is we'd like to ask to make sure that you please like and subscribe to our channel, so that way you can see all of the videos that are coming up in our series. So make sure that you get out there, you smash that bell up in that corner up there. And again, this is Jim Buck with Black Series Camper. So we hope you enjoyed that video. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.